part 36 of our Minish Cap walkthrough. We'll be covering the third part of the Temple of Droplets, and we just got done beating the mini boss.
Yep, we got the flame lantern, right?
The flame lantern.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which makes it like so much nicer because we can finally melt all this ice to finally get around to these different parts of the dungeon that have been blocked off the whole time, and it also helps us out a lot in the dark rooms.
Definitely, and I think we only stepped in 1 or 2 dark rooms in the first 2 parts, very briefly. We're gonna spend a lot of this part in dark rooms.
And this room's just a pain right here because you like them, then they go out. Which
it's so
those are horrible lanterns or not torches, I guess.
Torches, yeah.
Because those torches go out way too fast.
Thankfully, the ones that we encounter a little later aren't quite that fast.
They need some Tiki Torch fluid or something like that. I don't know how readily available that is in Hyrule, but we need some kind of fluid or lighter fluid or something like that because these things go out way too quick.
Can't we just light the enemies on fire?
Well, it's a pain when you're trying to fight these guys because they're really easy if you use your boomerang. Yeah. Because you can hit them on the side or the back. Yeah. But obviously, if you have the flame lantern and the sword, you can't use your boomerang.
Exactly. What really irritates me is that I feel like at least those lanterns in the other room, even though they went out quickly, they lit up the whole room.
They do, and that's what's nice about having a flame lantern because a lot of the third part right here and some of the fourth part. Actually, it might not be in the fourth part. But a lot of the third part takes place in dark rooms, so it's just nice to kind of have it lit up more.
Especially considering when you light these torches, it barely lights any more than just a little circle. You see the bottom right corner.
But I still hate these rooms. Ever since the Palace of Darkness, we have hated dark rooms.
And actually, you're going to see just how much we hate these rooms because we take, I feel like, more damage in this stupid room. And I like to think we're pretty decent at playing.
We're okay. But especially Minish Cap. Minish Cap's not a hard game. Watch me get killed or something here soon. Well, actually, we know that doesn't happen.
We know you don't die. But I feel like we still lose 4 or 5 hearts in this room just because the enemies are off screen.
Well, I mean, these pestos that are pests, kind of a pun right there, but.
They are pests.
I mean, there's obviously we're later in the game, so there's a lot more enemies and stuff to avoid. But just these enemies that drop bombs, these bulldozers have been a pain the whole game. I mean, they're hopped up on their cocaine or whatever.
They're hopped up on something, that's for sure.
Jeez, they're not hard to hit, but I mean, they're just crazy as you can see.
They're frustrating. They're frustrating, and like I said, especially when they come charging at you from just in the darkness. And you have no time to react to it. I mean, I feel like even though we've only lost the 4 hearts, I feel like we've taken a beating.
I mean, there's some harder enemies, but I also feel like as you get along farther in the game, which a lot of Zelda games are like this, there's also more enemies. Which I think in Temple of Droplets, there's just a lot of enemies.
There are. And you know how easy it is to miss this key, though?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
I mean, if you don't see the cracked wall there that we had to bomb a moment ago in the dark.
And it's very easy to miss because it's a dark room.
Yeah, without looking at the map.
Yeah, if you don't go far enough, who needs a map? We're guys. We don't need maps, so we don't
ask for directions. We don't ask for directions.
I spend countless times on the map. I'm not going to lie. I was probably trying to figure out how to get to it, on the other side or whatever.
Definitely. But yeah, I feel like that's such an easy key to miss. And I may or may not have done that when I played through this.
It's a key you need, right? Because this game doesn't have any keys that you don't need, right?
I don't think so. I don't think there's any extras.
Okay, extra keys. That's what I was thinking.
I know some of the other handhelds and even some of the earlier games definitely had excess keys, but I feel like they've done a good job of eliminating
the original Legend of Zelda, I think, was like that. There are excess keys in that, and then you get the magical key that just usually throughout the entire game, which was awesome.
How awesome would that be to have in every other Zelda game?
It was actually in Zelda 2 also, but you didn't get it until right before the last dungeon. You're well, that was pointless.
Kind of defeats the purpose,
Now here's what I don't understand. These fire, I don't actually know what these enemies are called. I tried to find it today. But how
flame enemies.
Yeah, how is fire on ice working? How does that work? And those things are a pain
gosh.
Well, they make you run. You can't use any of your weapons, so it's just you can't do anything
Getting lit on fire in this game is brutal.
It was a pain.
You literally sprint in whatever direction.
Can't
use your items.
That's what happened right there. Is I slid off the end. I guess my lantern caught me. I just started taking off running. I couldn't do anything about it. Yep.
Well, our loyal listeners know how much we hate walking on ice.
Well, viewers, hopefully they're not just listening to us.
Yes. Hey, whatever way they're absorbing.
Now, if they're just watching. Instead of listening to us, I would understand that.
Okay, sorry. Our loyal watchers, viewers, understand how much we hate walking on ice platforms.
Oh, yes. Well, I would think most people do.
Yeah, it's a pain.
There's probably some sick person out there that likes it.
I don't want to meet that person.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of going back to a minute ago, though, when you were mentioning the fire enemies running, rolling across the floor. I think it would have been a really cool.
What exactly are they doing? Sorry, but what exactly are they doing? Is that rolling? I think it's sliding. It looks like sliding. Rolling. But go ahead.
I don't know, but either way, how cool would it be if it like actually melted like trails through the ice? And like I know that's asking a lot for this game.
That's one thing I like about the blocks, though. They do it the blocks. You can kind of see like where the blocks have been pushed or something like that.
Just something like that. I feel like that'd be a really neat little touch, and that may have been a little too much for the handheld at the time.
Yeah, probably. Well, I mean, this game's got pretty good graphics. I mean,
for its age,
on the Game Boy Advance, you know. Yeah, and also, well, I think the Game Boy Advance actually came out pretty late. Because like we said a couple of times, this game came out right before Twilight Princess, I think.
I think that's about right. Yeah.
Now I hate this room right here.
Oh my god.
We don't make it look that hard. But the first time I played through this level, like sliding on ice, because you know you had the multiplier. Like if you barely even touch something, it cancels out and just.
It does.
This multiplier on ice, oh man, it was a doozy.
Plus, you almost run out of time on this one on your multiplier.
Yeah.
Because you really have to take your time.
Exactly. You gotta be slow on it.
Yeah, it is such a pain, and I'm sure I screwed this up.
I knew I had the whole time. I wasn't really worried. Actually, it was pretty close.
So one or two more seconds, and I think you would have missed it. But.
That room took me a long time the first time I played because like I didn't know where to slide the ice block. Like I think I slid that ice block like maybe at top or something.
The very first one.
And that kept on trying to figure out the multiplier and walking on the ice. And oh man, I hate ice puzzles. I absolutely just hate ice puzzles.
Moving ice blocks has always been a bane
because they don't stop, which makes sense.
Yeah,
it makes sense they don't stop, but still, they're just a pain.
I think what I did the first time that screwed me up too was I tried to get both blocks onto the two of the switches and just ignore the multiplier. Which obviously doesn't work.
Well, you can also
I tried though.
Oh no, we're not to the point. I was thinking we're at the point where we had 3 multipliers, but we still only have 2.
Yeah, we're not
thinking we could do 3 multipliers, but even in that puzzle, I don't think 3 multipliers would have worked.
3 multipliers on ice also sounds brutal.
I guess it'd be 2 multipliers. But three link figures, I guess.
Man, you said that other room took you forever.
I hate this room.
This one was brutal.
This is probably like the worst room in this game. Like I do miss it right here, but I kind of catch up and get it. But man, I mean, the first time playing this game, like this room is probably my least favorite room in the entire game.
It's brutal. I mean, it's like trying to get all 9, and you're so close.
Yeah,
right off the bat, and you like. I like what you did though, just to keep trying.
Yeah, that's what you gotta do. But I mean, like you can see how close you get now. Like right here, it just like kind of
you barely.
Yeah, it lasted a lot longer right there.
But
that's what she said.
Yeah. I think I did the wrong approach on that. Where after I missed the first time, I just let them all go out.
Yeah.
And tried again.
I think the best approach is to keep on going because you saw me right there. Like I kind of caught up.
You which helps.
And I just like scissor beels. Forget these guys. I'm going to ignore them right here.
There's no reason to kill them here.
No, there's not. There's too many of them. I mean, you don't get anything.
And you know when you're watching my gameplay versus when you're watching Hicks, because I would have stayed there and tried to kill him.
You would have had like one heart using your peril beam, and like I gotta get these guys.
And I would have sat there and fought him. I had
the OCD would have kicked in.
I know. That's what you can always tell.
Get rid of these guys. I gotta get rid of these guys.
If it's Hick playing or if it's me, I will go after them. So
now I don't understand like the jar placement right there. Like you could clearly see there's an arrow pointing up right there, and they just like decided to cover like a third of it.
I know. It didn't make a ton of sense.
Oh, these webs! I hate these webs.
I like the strategy you have here though, going around the room and burning them all out of the way right off the bat.
Well, with these 2 matted pillars, like if you don't, I mean, it gets really hard to fight these guys. Yeah. Like every time you hit the wall, you bounce around, so it's just easier to take the extra time to get this out of the way.
Yeah, it's a really smart idea because I mean, you could just see, like you said, you were bouncing off the wall, just trying to catch it on fire. So if you're trying to run from these guys, it'll just bounce you right back into.
I don't understand how webs bounce you that much.
I mean, you think you get stuck.
That's actually a very good point. That I didn't even think of. Yeah, you would get stuck, which
would be even worse.
That'd be a pain too. Would be like almost getting hit by the fire line or thingy, whatever you want to call it.
Totally out of control, yeah.
I think fire thingy is the best name we've come up with.
Fire thingy is a great name for those guys.
Well, there's fire bars, but those are the ones that are actually like spinning like around in circles or whatever.
And we're both sitting here like spinning our fingers like you guys can see what we're doing.
We need to like record like every behind the scenes video that we do so like they can get the hand gestures as we go along.
I don't know, some of our behind the scenes videos have been pretty entertaining.
That is true. That is true. Now I don't know why I went back to kill those guys right there.
You had a moment of red in you right there.
I was probably actually trying to get it hard now I think about it, but this will go ahead and wrap up part 36 of the Minish Cap.